So let me ask you guys, what do you do when you have an extra hard drive? Well, what I do is put it inside of a desktop and see if I can infect it with a virus. But before I can do that, I have to make sure that I install a fresh operating system onto that hard drive that I put inside of it. And by using a simple USB stick, I can put a copy of Windows on it, power it on, and make it boot to the OS. So I know you might be wondering, why am I not pressing the correct boot selection button, which should be F9, and it is F9, and I'm here over here pressing F8 or F9 because I totally forgot that here I'm supposed to be an IT professional. Anyways, the USB drive that we have there is the SanDisk, so I went ahead and selected that. We're going to boot it to the operating system installation, which I should have specified earlier, but for some reason I failed to do so. I apologize for that. But anyways, we're going to install the operating system on it, and we'll see how Windows actually handles this. Do you really need to buy or spend extra money on other antivirus software or not? Well, we shall see. We're going to give it a fighting chance, and I'm going to guide you through it, and we'll see what happens. It's definitely going to be an interesting thing. If you got a moment, please like and share this video. It really gives me extra power to do this and ability to remove extra viruses every time you click the like button. So think about that. Thank you so much.
Alright, first thing first, I want to show you that indeed I installed fresh install of Windows operating system. We're going to do our diligence and make sure it's updated, and also that antivirus for the Windows is updated as well, to give it a fair chance and see exactly how Windows itself responds to intentionally getting infected by a virus. So for that, to make it fair, we want to make sure that all the updates come through, and we're going to check on that as well before we start infection. So here we go. I'm going to force it to update, and it's going to be let alone to update however long it takes to make it completely and fair towards Windows. As you know, Windows security should have all the required tools to remove any virus threats and any malware automatically. I'm not going to make any changes whatsoever from the original Windows install, and as you can see, we are indeed updating the malicious software removal tool, which is exactly what this Windows security thing is. So I'm going to let that finish, and then I'm going to back to you, show you that it's fully updated. And while the updates are happening, I want to show you something real quick. What I want to do to keep it organized and of course sane and safe, I'm going to rename the C drive to just virus. So that way, whenever we attempt to remove it properly, we're going to know which is the virus infected drive, in case you have multiple drives on your computer that you slave it to in order to do it properly. Remember that little USB thumb drive that we put in to install Windows? Here it is. So we're just going to eject that and remove it. By the way, while we're waiting for this, one thing to mention is that you don't want regular people who are not familiar with computers be using administrator accounts, because that gives full permission to the viruses to install and make any changes to your computer or any software or any applications. So if somebody who is not used to computers or is not very knowledgeable, then you want to give them a standard type of account. So if you're logged in with an administrator account, you're opening yourself up to viruses. What you want to do is create a separate account for them that is just a standard account. I touched on this before on my other videos. So I'm going to create a local account. I'm going to name it just Bob or Nancy or whatever their name is, and give them a nice little password. I'm going to repeat it. And now, this is just a local account, as you can see. It's not an administrator account, and if a virus tries to install different type of things, it won't be able to do so. Of course, there's a difference between this and administrator, so you want to leave it at standard user for somebody who's using the computer. Hey, maybe even yourself, if you're not that 100% sure, or if you're going to the sketchy websites, which we will show you here in a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It's updated completely, as you can see. Now we're going to use everything that's available to us from Microsoft. We're going to open up Edge because this is what comes default. And let's see here. I just want to make sure here that Windows security is enabled. Here it is indeed. Virus and threat protection is enabled, as you can see. I'm going to do a quick zoom in here. So that is available right there on top. And we're going to go hunting for a website that's going to give us a virus. So, what's something typical that people usually do to get a virus? A lot of times, the first thing that comes to mind is that people go searching for free software. You know, somebody who uses a PC is probably going to be looking for a free software, or possibly try to download free movies, music, and all of that stuff. Those are the most typical places where you will find viruses. So let's see how that looks like. Hopefully we don't find some stuff that is kind of like sensitive. You know what I mean, like those weird pop-ups. And if any of that is sketchy, where it's not appropriate for a younger audience, I will blur that out just to be safe. So let's see here. Back in the day, there was a website called Whereas. Whereas, I think it's called like that, and it's one of the very first that I'm aware of pirating websites. So this is the first thing that I'm going to look for. Of course, needless to say, don't be stupid like me and do this. I am an IT professional, as you can see. And let's see what happens here. Just wherevirus.com. Let's see if we can find a virus here. Ah, here we go. There it is. It's exactly what I... This is an example of a fake one where it keeps popping up that you have a virus. I'm going to zoom in here. Perfect. And of course they want you to click on it, so of course we're going to click on it. Again, since I have... Oh, nice! Look at this! I love that! That's actually awesome. Guys, check this out. It actually went to McAfee website. I love that. They must have bought the right to that domain. That's actually cool. You see how it says McAfee up there? That's really cool. Ha! That's awesome. Love that. Love that. I did not expect that. And here I am trying to infect my computer on purpose. Love that. So it actually takes you to a legit website. And they sell you McAfee. Wait a minute. Is that even spelled correctly? Hold on. I gotta check this out. Maybe I'm the one who's being scammed here. You see the pop-ups over there on the right? Maybe I'm the one being stupid here. Continue the payment. It's $45 for McAfee protection. Let's see, is McAfee really spelled like that? So, antivirus website. Look, do a quick Control-C and go to Google. Is McAfee spelled like that? Paste. Oh my god. Dude, I know I did it. McAfee. Copy. Alright, paste. Yeah. McAfee.com. Is it the same website? Yep. Looks like the same website. Okay, for a second I thought I was really being tricked. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? It's acting like, look, it won't even let me go back. So antivirus website is acting kind of like, I mean, I know what they're doing. They're forcing you to go back, but it's kind of a shitty thing to do whenever you hit back button. And it forces you to go back to the home page. I don't like when the websites do that, but that's just a shitty strategy to do in order to keep people on your website. Although McAfee is a legit antivirus. I think there was some issue with the guy who started McAfee, the owner or the whoever, the guy who started it. I forget how you say it in English. Anyways, there were some legal issues with him, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in comments below. Next thing that comes to mind is a key generator, and we're going to look for a specific key generator. What's some popular software that has keys? Let's try Adobe. Alright, we're going to do key generator for that. Key Ninja, let's do this. This sounds legit. There we go, Adobe Pro. Download key generator. I have a good feeling about this, as in I have a bad feeling about this one. Download. See, this is what they do on purpose. They purposely make these big download icons so you can click on random stuff. Here we go. It's downloading key generator on the bottom. I want to show you. See? Okay, so after doing some research, I found that this Skid Row is like a popular, website game download thing. So I'm going to disable this thing. You see where it says here in Edge, over there on the bottom? I'm going to actually disable that because I think Edge is actually doing its job in Windows. It says Windows Defender Smart Scan. I'm going to disable that. And I'm actually quite surprised that Edge is doing this well. I think it's blocking the clicks. So let's go back to here. Here we go. Microsoft Edge. You see that on the bottom? Block the pop-up. This is how you get a virus. It says blocked a pop-up. I'm going to always allow, and I'm going to go do this. Oh wow, look at that, look at that. Would you look at that? Look at all those, look at all those things. Look at that. Look how many tabs opened up, and it keeps going. That's insane. I mean, at this point my computer is not infected, it's just that my browser is going crazy, and it's going to eventually crash my computer because it's gazillion pop-ups. Okay, so because they try to get the little kids fall for it. Yeah, it's gonna open up like a zillion tabs. Wow. All right, come on, give me an actual virus. I don't know. Let's click on this. I'm going to click on random places to download from. Ah, yes. I have no idea what Yandex is. Isn't the Yandex a Russian search engine? What is this, ballet? Ooh, I saw something here. Aha. So it took us to a random website. Oh, my Flash player is out of date, guys. So I think we're going to have to update it. So let's update our Flash. Alright, we're going to run it. Alright, so we get a clear warning that, hey, are you sure you want to? But I told it, so it's not Windows' fault. I'm purposely doing this. Windows, as you can see, is doing a good job at
protecting us from like literally stupid proof. And here we get a pop-up. It says app data. This is where I try to store a temporary location of its setup file. Right there where it says app data local temp, and then the other folder, and it says setup exe. That's where I try to put it in there first before I try to install it. And yeah, operation did not complete successfully because the file contained a virus or potentially unwanted software. But I'm afraid it might be too late. I think it's going to keep doing it. You see? I haven't clicked anything. It keeps doing it. Watch. So at this point, it might be too late. See, the window keeps detecting it on the right there. On the bottom right there, you get those pop-ups. And it's just going to keep doing it. Now the computer is infected. You see? It's infected. Because I already gave it a permission. Now it's going to keep trying to do it over and over again. Even if I close this, watch. It's just going to keep doing it. You see? Look at that. Now it's popping up all these websites. I'm going to close this because I don't know what it is. It could be some potentially inappropriate stuff. I'm going to go to Task Manager. Look at this. This thing keeps running in the background. I'm going to exit it. Watch this. It's going to come up again. It's going to pop up. Watch in Task Manager. Watch on top. Huh. It actually didn't do it this time. Anti-malware is scanning. Maybe anti-malware actually caught it after I killed it. So sometimes you can get lucky if you just kill it in the Task Manager. By the way, that's like the first place you would look for if there are any issues. It looks like anti-malware is now able to make changes. I gotta give props to Windows, man. This is why I don't use anything else. I use one more antivirus aside from Windows, but I might just switch to using Windows Defender, and that's it. Wow. It really looks like it really stopped it. We're going to make sure by properly actually removing the virus like you're supposed to as an IT professional. So let's get to that. We're going to remove the hard drive. I'm going to give it a little light action so we can see. Of course, unplug it from power as usual, and if you're really pro whatchamacallit hardware guy, you'd use those, anti-static wrist wrap things, whatever, grounding thing. But I've never had these issues with this. So here is the hard drive that we were playing around with. So I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to connect it to, I'm going to slave it. I mean, you could take this to a computer that is safe, that has Windows updates and all of that stuff, and it's perfectly updated. And what we shown earlier was actually a perfectly good example why you would want to take it to a computer that's perfectly updated like that. You saw how it was really good at actually detecting and preventing the virus from actually running to begin with. So yeah, we're going to slave it to another computer that has a fresh copy of Windows, and we're going to scan it again, and with Windows built in, or with some other antivirus software. Alternatively, you can slave it by connecting it to the front USB, and I'll show you a tool that I'm using here. Okay, so what I use to slave a drive, it's the easiest thing to do, and as somebody, if you guys happen to be a hardware guys, it's best to just have one of these things laying around. It's just a USB connector. You connect it to the USB, and you get this adapter that has different options. It gives you EIDE, and there's a SATA, different size of EID, and here's our SATA. And this one is, they make it just so simple, and you can just plug it in like this. It's really easy. You just align it and you just plug it in. And then of course power it up. You can see that there's I think it's a 5-volt adapter, and then you just plug it into a wall and it powers up, and in your computer it just shows up as a regular, as a regular drive. Alright guys, so with our drive attached, slaved, I remember what we named that the last time. We actually named that C drive as virus. So here it is. Now this this might be actually locked by default, so you may need a BitLocker key. In this case, this one is not have BitLocker enabled, but make sure you don't open it or anything like that. The first thing you want to do, as it's slaved to a computer that has all the updates, is right click it and do a scan. So we're going to do a full scan. It's doing a a quick scan, but we're going to actually do a full scan. So we're going to do a full scan to look for any viruses. And here we have to tell what do we want to scan. I guess we have to select it and tell, well, scan this, drive that has potential virus in it. So if there are any viruses, they will definitely show up, and once they do, then you would remove it accordingly. And once you do, you will be able to go inside the drive and recover any data. That drive, however, just to be safe, this drive, I wouldn't necessarily want to reuse again with that operating system on there. I would re-image it to whatever it is. But after you recover all the data that needs to be recovered from like documents and such, then you should be able to, get those documents just fine because, they're not viruses, they're just documents. So that should be perfectly safe and safe how to recover. But we'll see after we do a scan here. After this finishes, we'll see what the results are. All right, guys. So here we are. It finally finished. It took quite a while for me to actually scan this, and it's a magnetic drive. So it took about a half an hour. And indeed, it found that same virus on that drive. Here it is, that Trojan spy thingy lingy. All right. So we're going to remove it. We're not going to quarantine it. We're going to remove that bad boy. Bad boy virus. We're going to remove it. And once it's removed, we're going to go back into that drive. We're going to retrieve any documents the user wants. And it's going to be all good. We're going to say, here you go, sir or ma'am. Here are your documents. You have no longer a virus infected computer. But again, you want to reinstall operating system onto that drive. All right, here we go. It found 6 threats found and it removed all of them. Let's see, protection history. So threat blocked, threat quarantined. Now we're done with that, and we're going to go inside of our virus folder. Virus infected, what used to be virus infected drive. I'm going to go to users, and the name of the user that was using was called virus, and we're going to access that to recover data. So of course you'd go to documents, usually where somebody would have things on desktop or their favorites and whatnot. Aside from that, don't get anything else. Do not get anything that's in here, because here's our virus. Remember, is that same virus, except it's compressed, so Windows can't tell that it's a virus because it's compressed. That's one downfall of, I suppose, majority of antivirus software, is that you can't tell that there is a virus inside of this compressed or slash zipped folder. So you don't want to get anything that's in downloads. Nothing. And of course, be very careful. Just make sure you get documents that are like .doc or, Excel documents or whatever. Just make sure they're just plain documents, not like executables. All right, guys. I hope that's very useful. I hope it helps you, I don't know, pass A plus maybe, get a job if somebody asks you this during an interview. I don't know. Let me know if you like this type of video. I know part of the video actually sounded like ASMR. Is that what it's called? I was whispering. I was whispering because I had somebody else that was sleeping upstairs and I was self-conscious about it, so I was whispering. But the microphone on my camera is actually very sensitive, so it picked up sound just fine. So maybe that sounded weird. I don't know. But anyways, I made this educational video. Hopefully you find it educational as well. I think it's educational. All right, enough of beating around the bush. Anyways, make sure you get rid of this right away. Quick format it, just to be sure that nobody else has a chance to actually get this virus. This is very important because if you forget that you have a virus on it, let's say you're just like, okay, I'm going to give you a different computer, and you forget that you had this in there. You want to, format it as quickly as possible. Okay, bye bye. Take care. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Bye.